We are live. I am Danielle, the coach, certified life and leadership coach, helping millennials and mid-career professionals quit their 9 to 5 without regret. I am here with one of my, all my clients are amazing, but one of my many amazing clients, Emily. And we can't see you.
Oh,
There you go.
okay.
She's real, y'all. I promise. Here with one of my clients, Emily, who has just spent a little over 90 days working with me, enlisting my support and accountability with shaking things up in life and creating a life that she loves her way and on her terms. And so we're going to talk a good bit today about her experience working with me and like what her secret weapon has been to creating this life, redesigning her life, taking intentional action, making investment, what all of this has meant, what it felt like, and what some of the things that she's experienced have been, and some things that she wasn't expecting, right? So this has been a journey and a process for sure. I know it's been beautiful to witness as her coach, but there is nothing like hearing it from the go getter herself. So let's get this party started. Em, do me a favor, share a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I'm Emily. I, for my day job, I work for the government as an analyst, but I also am on the content creator side hustle front. So I am a gamer as well. I have a Twitch channel, YouTube channel, and a dedicated podcast that I started back in July of 2021. Um, and so that is kind of what I do on the side, just create gaming content and produce and co-host a podcast where we basically break down everything that's going on in the world, but we also keep emerging content creators up to date with the latest news and trends and what's happening with our spaces, particularly for the more marginalized creators. But yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
Just a little bit. She gets me like a whole rundown. It's just a little bit. You know, this is like go getter syndrome 101, right? We do all of these amazing things, but it's just a little something I do. But listen, it's par for the course in my world because I work with absolute go getters who are known for just being, I keep saying amazing, but that's what it is. Like I'm calling a spade, being amazing at what they do, amazing souls, amazing human beings who are driven to say the least, but find themselves in a space where, and I don't want to steal your thunder, but so I'm just going to speak generally, and then you can add your 2 cents in too, but find themselves giving so much and doing so much and serving so many people in so many different ways, personally and professionally, that when this moment happens, um, for a lot of them is having this mid-career crisis, it causes you to question a lot of things, right? And so, M, let me ask you this. What is one word that you would use to describe how you were feeling before you reached out?
Overwhelmed.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about that. What had you overwhelmed?
So I was trying to balance the day job life and the content creation life, and in the midst of all that, I was actually also planning my wedding, so it was just another thing to add on. Um, but I got to a point where I wanted to kind of make that turn my content creation, start turning my content creation hustle from a hobby to more of a business and try to align it with the more business mindset. Um, and so that was a lot of the overwhelming, just trying to balance all that and trying to also explore options. Because I was planning a wedding and my now husband. had actually gotten a new job that as of now doesn't require us to move, but it's one of those things that will probably be a conversation in the future. So because where I currently work is kind of stringent on transferring, I kind of wanted to open the doors to be able to get into something that's just overall more flexible with the work life balance, and also something that will allow me to like basically be off the clock and not have to think about possibly being available
Mhm.
even afterwards. So to kind of allow more of that freedom to continue to work on the content creation side and growing that into a business.
Yeah. Freedom is not only a buzzword, a stop word, like it is like the driving force in the work that I do for myself as a full-time entrepreneur, but also I can't think of a client that has enlisted my support that wasn't focused on freedom. Freedom in maybe one way, but a lot of times it's in a couple of ways, right? It's time freedom, financial freedom, geographic freedom, just the freedom to move about the world and do what they do, work and play, live and just be, but do it in a way that they don't feel so held down by either politics, um, outdated policies and procedures, and sometimes even their own selves, right? There's levels to it. And in the work that I do with my clients, and M can attest to it, when we start peeling back those layers and getting to the root of some things, we realize that there are several players in this freedom thing. And it's not always external vices and things and entities and beings that are keeping us from being as free as we desire. Sometimes it's a little bit of us too, for sure. So in full transparency, right? Emily and I, most of my clients have been perfect strangers before they reached out for the first time to have their free strategy session. Fortunately for me, Emily was not a perfect stranger. I've known her for several years, have always thought so highly of her. So when people, it's one thing for strangers to come across you and have their interest piqued because what you're saying resonates with them and they want to know more and you do the dance. But to me, there's no higher honor or esteem to have somebody that I know in my network reach out for help, right? Because they have a need or a problem that aligns with what I do. Because they can pick anybody, right? And then there's that thing of, oh, you hear people say the people that I'm closest to don't support me. That's not my song. That's not my my cry. That's not my posture. That's just not the thing. I know that what I do is not for everybody, so I don't expect everybody that I know to um for it to resonate or for them to reach out for support in this way because this listen, putting your 9 to 5, thinking about it, wanting to do something different in your career, wanting to just position yourself to be a little bit more free, even if you still choose to maintain your 9 to 5. Most people are not thinking like that about life. Most people are on the hamster wheel. Most people have resigned themselves to, hey, I got to work this job or a job and retire when I'm eligible to retire. Most people don't dare to think outside the box. Most people don't dare to ask themselves, what if? What if I worked as hard for myself as I do for everybody else? What's possible? Or what if I afforded myself the luxury of dabbling in something on the side while still maintaining my 9 to 5 because I can and I like my 9 to 5, right? Because there's no judgment. But what if you chose to create and design a life based on what makes your heart smile, based on your purpose? Most people are not willing or courageous or are nor are courageous enough to ask that question. And so my dear Emily is not one of those people. And so I say all that to say it means the world to know that there are people that I'm connected to, like that witnessed my leap, you know, have kind of just watched me do and figure this thing out the best way I know how. But then also have what I'm sharing resonate with them enough to entrust me with possibility. So I haven't told you this, so I'm telling you this publicly. Thank you. Not only for seeing me, but also for trusting me, right? Um, with possibility for you. So that being said, how long before you reached out to inquire about like what I do, how I do it, all of the things? How long had you been thinking about reaching out before you ultimately reached out?
I would say so. I reached out around February, so I would say um about around 4 months. I had just gotten to a point where, I realized and knew that I was like burnt out, but I was, just trying to figure out a solution. Mainly like burnt out during my day job, but because the burnout I had kind of transitioned over to what I like doing in my free time, which was content creation. It was affecting it. Um, and like I said, it was all in the midst of planning a wedding as well and managing that. So I've been thinking about it, especially the part of maybe this is the time that I should maybe look at other opportunities that will let me a little more flexibility in the day job realm. But yeah, so I've been thinking about it for a minute, and it was just one of those things of and I remember we talked about it before. It was just one of those things like I don't know if this sounds crazy, but I've been thinking on it for a minute, and then I finally was just at a point where I knew that you Danielle had done this and had taken the leap, and I could at least get another perspective of from someone who had done that before.
Got you. So you thought about it, right? Reached out, and we had our conversation. And I'm unapologetic about the investment to work with me, right? Um, for some, there is sticker shock. For some, it's like, let's go. There's nothing to it but to do it. And wherever people fall on that spectrum, like there's no judgment because I understand. Like there have been moments in my life when I've reached out for help for something. This is even when I was still employed. I thought about this randomly today, like, and I reached out to somebody, and what they were charging was it was nowhere near what I expected. But the weird thing is, I didn't really have an expectation. I wasn't expecting it to be that, and it's weird. So I get being on that spectrum of it being sticker shock, right? To being at the point where it's just like, okay, like it's money, like I need this help for my sanity. Let's do this. But I know that for a lot of people who have never worked with a coach, a lot of people who have never really engaged with me, or maybe just don't have the insight around the industry and what is normal. Sometimes there is that, right? But I'm unapologetic about it because I know the gifting that I have, and I know how powerful the work is and life changing the work is that I do in partnership with my clients to get them unstuck. Um, Clear with a strategy that works just for them, that's tailor made just for them, in support of them, like redesigning their reality and creating a life they absolutely love. And so, yeah, I I can't even say I charge my worth because it's not it's not. I really do think I do. I'm a little up there, but I think I'm on the lower end. Actually, I could go a little higher. But that being said, knowing that there's this thing, right, with the investment, um, what was the thing that fueled, and not saying that I'm not saying where you were on the spectrum because I never even asked you that, right? Um, but what was the thing that fueled your decision to ultimately make the investment and enlist me as your life coach?
Um, I think I was just at a point where I I needed for lack of a better word, outside help. Like the people who were currently in my circle, like knew my situation, but you know, it was one of those, and I'll take accountability and say it's a little bit on me as well, but um, it was just framing it as in a way of like, well, this is what's happening, but I'll try to figure out a solution, and so I finally just kind of sat down with myself and said like maybe you need like to actually take the step and ask for help and
Mhm.
make the investment. And honestly, I had approached you as opposed to going to Google. But I approached you because, like, well, you were somebody I already knew, and we had kept in touch. And we were message each other from time to time. I think you
Yeah.
had asked me the thing that it kind of sparked it. I was like, oh, I, like I have a resource right here. I can like actually get help for. But it sparked it because you messaged me, you reached out, and you were asking me how I uh, or what type of microphone I use in one of my podcast clips because the audio sounded really good. I was like, oh yeah. So I just gave you the link, and then I sat there and thought about it. I was like, oh, but actually I can like reach out just as easily as you had reached out about that. I was like, I could just ask her to help guide me on taking that leap and making those next steps because I just been in a place where I was kind of like pushing through by myself. So it was just that time to, like I said, just actually reach out and ask for help.
Yes, Emily, I'm still human. I'm still here. I'm a real person. And what's crazy is you know me. Like you know me. You have my personal number in your phone, right? There are people who I've had people book a strategy session. They go through all the hoops, right? However they find me. A lot of times they've seen my ad or something I put some content. They click the link, they watch a video, they go through all of these steps, right? They get to the strategy session. They're like, "Oh, you're real." I'm like, who has time to be creating all this stuff for it to be something else on the back end? I don't have that kind of time, right? So yes, but I think it tickles me so much to know that, not to say that you thought that, right? But that here I am, like right here, like in your sphere. Like we go way back. And like but it wasn't even a forethought originally to like, hey, I have this resource, or seeing me as a resource and not just, oh, I see her outside looking in, but like, no, like she can help me, right? So thank you for your transparency. This is why I love these, because I deal with real people. I'm a real person. These are real thoughts. And like this, again, go getter syndrome. Sometimes we move so fast and we're so used to, because I'm a go getter too. This is why I know my people so well. We're so used to figuring it out, right? We're so used to problem solving, especially for everybody else. So when it comes to our stuff, we're supposed to be able to figure it out too, or so we think. But the secret is that sometimes we're too close to our own stuff, and it's so easy for me to listen to you and to kind of extract some things, put it together in a linear or logical way, or poke holes in things and feed it back to you in a way that's palatable, and have it position you to have these aha moments. It's a gift for me, right? But a lot of time I know my go-getters, and believe it or not, I'm the same way, which is why I have always aligned myself with others, whether it's a mentor or coaches, whatever, right? Because I know that I can be in my own way. I know that I can be in my own head, but I'm a beast at helping other people, solve their problems in a similar way. Like this is my gifting. And so I'm so glad that you said that, because you are not alone. I know there's so many people, right? So now I'm sitting here wondering, like, well, how many other people that know me, right, or have been connected with me for some time are just watching me post what I post and do what I do and share what I share and celebrate what I celebrate or be transparent about what hasn't been working whenever I feel like being transparent about it. But don't see me as a resource for them just because of however their mind is working on that day. So if you happen to be watching this and you're guilty of that, listen, book your call and let's have a conversation so we can get you unstuck and clear. I've been dubbed the catalyst of clarity since I've been on this side of my 9 to 5 and doing this work. And that is by no means something that I take lightly because clarity is the first step on this journey of getting unstuck, getting in motion, and moving confidently in the direction of where you want to move, whether it's quitting your 9 to 5, whether it's finding another job, whether it's creating your exit strategy that may mean that you don't quit right now, right? It may mean you don't quit next year. However, you're doing some other things to position yourself for what you know is coming that most other people don't have any idea about because they would never think about doing it themselves or see you doing it, but you know what it is. And just the clarity is the catalyst to all of that other stuff, right? So knowing that I and the work that I do in support of my clients help them do just that, listen, it's one of the greatest gifts, literally and figuratively, that God has given me. And it's a gift to me to watch my clients just like you have these like aha moments and be like, man, wait a minute, what? Like, yes, easy button. What else you got for me, right? um, so thanks for sharing that, M. What Okay, let's talk about you made the investment. Let's fast forward, right? What would you say has what shifted for you as a result of our work together?
So I would say that the main thing while we were working together and something I had known subconsciously about myself, but basically being brought to the forefront and just being able to apply that to my situation was that um, the shift in basically learning how to ask for help and being asking for help unashamedly. So, and figuring out the resources that I need to help me either figure out, like you said, exit strategy or just an extra resource. So, um, and that was a theme that basically kept coming up with our experiences. It was just that shift in mindset of like, oh yeah, it is okay to ask for help, which is something that I feel like we do all know logically, but I think because I've been in a sense put in a position that's it can get very independent and very like other people depend on you to have most if not all the answers, so you kind of forget how to uh, look for resources yourself.
Yeah.
If it's not, you know, with the simple typing or click into the search bar, but just like that part of the one on one connection and reaching out is something that I think a lot of us forget. So that was definitely a shift, and it's definitely like I can see the benefits that have come from it. It's like basically lifted uh, quite a bit of weight off my shoulders over the past 90 days.
Say that the church says amen. Um, but listen, I don't even think I told because being in like the coaching bubble, like there's a certain energy that I bring in a space that I create for my clients. So not everything that I observe I share in the moment. So I'm glad we're having this conversation because as you can already see, I've shared some things with you like that I hadn't even told you yet, right? So if there was, I might have to create the award, right? An award for like delegating like a boss. And I'm not even talking about at work. I'm talking about on the personal front, which is levels to it. You get it. Like hands down. So let me tell you why I say it's levels to this, right? So not only did you make the investment to work with me, right, and join what I call the winner circle. So for those listening, I didn't even tell you how M decided to work with me. So she decided to join the winner circle, which afforded her a what I call a momentum session, a private momentum session, and then over the course of 90 days, she tapped into my biweekly accountability calls that I host for my clients, to get whatever support and to keep her accountable for what she said, right? And to get coaching when she needed it. So M invested to work with me, and we uncovered this barrier of her carrying all the weight. Like she said, she was working 9 to 5. That was taxing. She was planning a wedding, right? She was working on her content creator uh, hustle, if you will, on the side, trying to figure out how to monetize that. She had all of these things that she was carrying. And one of the very first things that I recommended for her, get somebody else to do it. Like get somebody else to do it. Listen, just because you can does not mean that you should. And what I loved about Emily was that she didn't fight me on it, right? And even if she did, it wouldn't have been a fight either, because I always empower my clients from the standpoint of, listen, you always get to choose. You get to choose. So if you want to continue to carry that weight, I just hope you build some muscle along the way. I hope you get something out of it. However, you don't have to, right? And so she was open to, and you were open to not only just possibility, but like doing something different to get different results. And like you listen, you said it so beautifully, like a literal weight was lifted, you know. And I know that for my fellow high achievers, my mid-career professionals, you've been doing what you've been doing. Now you're doing it likely with your eyes closed and one hand tied behind your back, hopping on one foot, and still killing the game, right? I know, listen, I'm speaking from experience, okay? So when you show up in the world that way, you feel like you should be able to do most anything, right? And if you don't know how to do it, you feel like you should be able to figure it out. But the question is, do you have to? Do I have to do this, or can I find somebody to delegate it to? And what I know to be true as well, even if we, because most mid-career professionals that I attract are, if not in leadership positions, well on their way. We kind of get the delegation thing by nature at work, but at home, not so much. There is like this dissonance where it's just like, no, no, no. Same rules apply. Like you a boss at home too. Delegate that stuff. Right? And that's exactly what you started to do. And you started to do it without me nudging you. So it became like muscle memory for you. And I really do believe in my heart of hearts, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that I feel like it's something that you've seen slash experienced that you can't unsee.
Yeah, it's definitely been like basically like from here on out, if it gets to a point where it feels like I'm about to bang my head against the wall, then it's like that's for somebody else. That's not for me.
That's
Um,
that's your cue.
yeah.
I love it. I love it. What would you say has been your favorite coaching moment or your fondest memory from our time working together?
I would say the shift experience that we did.
Mm.
That was something I really enjoyed, and it's because it was a way to like it was a it the name literally said it all. I was able to experience that the first inclinations of a shift happening with the exercises we did, and kind of learning a little bit more about myself and how I show up, or and how I show up, at work versus at home, or
Mm-hmm.
the ways in which I kind of adjust to my environments, which again is something I feel like I knew subconsciously, and I just did it for the sake of basically kind of maintaining, but kind of seeing that in real time and being able to analyze that as like, okay, so I kind of can see firsthand how much flexibility I have in certain aspects that I could kind of capitalize on to, make my overall life easier, but
Yeah,
also maybe show up better in my day job, but also to take those opportunities that are offered for content creators, and just be able to take advantage of that to further get my brand out there and eventually get some more monetization deals, which is what I'm aiming for.
got it. So the shift experience, and that's something I didn't know that. When I tell you I love these, I learned so much, and I guess it goes both ways, right? Because there's things that I just there's not time to share when we're doing our thing and our sleeves are rolled up. But I did not know that, and so thank you for sharing. I'm glad you were able to attend that, like at the outset of us really diving in and um working on like this freedom plan for you. What's been an unexpected outcome of our work together that you're grateful for?
um, let's see. I would say an unexpected outcome that I'm grateful for is that I think through, like I said, that shift experience and just like through our biweekly calls,
Hmm.
I've been kind of getting that reassurance that this feels like the right move, but something unexpected. I've actually gotten a couple of opportunities on the content creation side that's helped my brand out a bit. Actually, doing one tomorrow, and I think a lot of that is due to just like having that support system and having those tools in hand to further uh for me further kind of it'll let me know that like, oh, I can show up in this way, and people would perceive me in, for lack of a better word, like a better light or a uh more professional or just overall kind of that novelty aspect of like, oh, this person's new, but what they're saying or how they present themselves is something I want to get to know more of. So I think through that, I've actually like been able to grow quite a bit on the content creation side, just and not only in numbers, but just in those experiences. And the more expected things, it's just like better outcomes of my job and um, just better outcomes with like job search in general. But that unexpected growth and opportunities on the content creation side was something that I really enjoyed, like seeing in real time.
You know what? If I had to answer that question, as far as my interaction with you, right, in the work that we've been doing, I honestly would have to say it's been seeing the same thing, seeing how I have been able to offer insights and suggestions from that aspect too, right? What most people don't know is that I'm also a business coach, right? I lead with like life and leadership, but I also serve as a business coach in some capacities, right? And so even if I didn't serve as a business, even if I wasn't also a business coach, whatever I know is fair game for my clients if they are open to it. It's never a situation where it's just like, oh, we'll do this. No, I'm a coach. There's a difference. However, with this partnership that we have, you cool if we talk about this part a little bit?
Oh
Like when
yeah.
there was something M had going on and she was talking about, I guess, a goal she had with the content creation side and beginning to want to monetize it and create like a business, form a business around it, right? And so one of the things that she was experiencing was it has something to do with views and
Mm.
visibility, right, in the different places where you show up. And I don't want to misspeak on the story, so I'll just kind of get to the point. But there was something that M said that she was trying to figure out. And I asked if she was open to a suggestion. You know, that's what I do, right? That's what I do. Like open to a suggestion, and she was. And so I offered a suggestion, and I wish we had it recorded, M. It was like all of a sudden, like 18 light bulbs went off from like a marketing perspective. And she was like, oh my goodness, I can see how this would help with this, and this. And it's just like, listen, I'm the real deal. Okay. And what I know, not only from being having been a career professional and a senior business analyst, amongst other things, at my previous employer, right? I'm a business analyst by trade, right? Turned full time entrepreneur who has spent the last 4, almost 5 years learning business from a full time entrepreneurship standpoint, which means there's so many things that play into that as well that I just didn't have a need to know before I took the leap, or didn't have the access. It wasn't in the right places. So there's so much that I have learned diving in head first right before a global pandemic, right? Being left to my own vices and devices to figure this thing out, and not look back. And so I say all that to say, my clients, whatever I know, if it serves my clients and they're open to it, my clients know, right? And but why wouldn't I? Like I want to see you win. Like when you win, I win, right? And I care about your success, not only while we're working together, but also afterwards, right? And for once my clients are my clients, they're always my clients. And you become a DTC alum, and you can always spin the block and come back and get some more of this. So if you're a DTC alum forever and ever and ever and ever. However, I want to see you win, not just while we're working together, but I want to see you win in perpetuity as well. Because why not? Right? Like why not? That's why I do this work that I do. So thank you for letting me kind of like share a little bit about a specific part of our journey. Um, what would you say to someone who may be feeling like overwhelmed right in this moment, like you were before you reached out, right? Maybe feeling overwhelmed amongst other things about where they are in their career. Maybe they're in the midst of their own mid career crisis and don't even realize it. They're trying to do all of the things themselves personally and professionally. And then they've been seeing me, they've been thinking about reaching out, thinking about booking a strategy session, but they haven't done it. Like they're on the fence. What would you say to that person right now?
Um, I would say go ahead and take the leap. Like if you have the time, energy, and resources to do so, don't be afraid to take that leap and to reach out because if nothing else, you can at least get a different perspective on your situation from someone who uh, shows that they care and they can like easily empathize with what you might be going through. So, but yeah, I would definitely say if you're at that point and you have the if you're willing to commit that time and energy and you have the resources to do so, then it's no other. It doesn't. It's not that hard of a choice to me.
Em said, just do it. Just do it. And there's levels to it, right? So the strategy session that I offer is free. It's free. It's a call, right? It could lead to an invitation to work with me, right? Which that is not free nor is it cheap, right? But there's levels to it. And so just take the next step. If you're anything like how I was when I felt like I was banging my head against the wall, I was withering away at my desk on the back end of my career, and I knew something had to give. I didn't want to just take just another job just for the sake of taking just another job so that in 30, 60, or 90 days, I'd be just as miserable, but in a different place. I wanted to find something that brought me joy, that fulfilled me, that I was excited to get up and do every day, even if there were challenges that lied ahead. I needed something different, right? So if you are like me, but feeling like, well, where do I go? What do I do? Oh my gosh, I think I got clarity on what I want to do now. Oh my goodness, but now it seems like there's 17 million things that I got to do. Listen, just take the next step. You got to take the next step before you can take all of those other ones. Take the next step. And that next step, which is the first step, is booking that free strategy session. And so, to book that free strategy session, before you do that, there's actually a step before that. I misspoke that I want you to take. I want you to go to quitwithoutregret.com. That's actually the first step. Go there, watch the video where I break down how career professionals just like you are quitting six-figure jobs, creating a life that they absolutely love, and unapologetically go there, watch that free video that I've created, and then in that video, I give you the next steps on how to book that call. But I want to preface the call with the information that I give you in that video. So all you have to do is go to quitwithoutregret.com and just follow the steps. I made it super super easy for you. We kind of talked about that earlier, how I lay out all of these steps to get to me because I want to make sure that you know what awaits you when you get to the call, and then also that like yeah, that could be opportunity for you to work with me if I think that we're a good fit. If I don't think that we're a good fit, you get a free strategy session and you get to ride off into the sunset, hopefully with a little bit more clarity, and maybe a dash of confidence, right, to go do what it is that you are here and purpose to do. So thank you for sharing that, Em. So listen, we're gonna wrap this up, and this has been divine. And that's like an understatement. Like you you've been a vibe since day one. How did Ross introduce us?
Yeah, she did.
Listen, and I have never let you go. Like I was like, don't worry about it. I got her. I got her. I got her. My girl for life. But to take us out, what's one word that if you can do just one, most people get up here and I'm like, well, I got three. Whatever you got. What's one word that you would use to sum up your experience working with me?
um, let's see. I would say it's hyphenated, but I would say eye opening.
Eye opening. Okay, okay. We're getting there. So now people have to, whoever comes after you, they got to keep it down a hyphenated word or less. That's the new challenge. It has been, um, and I feel like I guess I'm sounding like a broken record now because I debriefed with had my last session with another client earlier, and said probably what I'm getting ready to say to you too, and they were like, "Are you reading that?" And I was like, "No, why would I? I don't have to read how I feel about you." But it has been an honor, a privilege, a pleasure to serve you, to partner with you, um, in helping you like figure this thing out. I'm so happy that you chose not to suffer in silence a day longer. And I'm just glad God, first of all, you had that podcast set up so that I could reach out to you. Like, what you using? Because I need that. And that was like opening Pandora's box, and here we are, right? So I know that everything happens for a reason, and it's very likely that our paths crossed way back when for a time such as this, because God be knowing. That's all I know. God be knowing. So I won't question. I'll just show up and I'll serve when and where I'm invited and welcome to serve. And it has been beautiful to witness like your breakthroughs, and not only how you show up for yourself and the dividends that you are still being paid as a result of investing in yourself, and showing up for yourself and saying yes to yourself, but also saying no to some other things so that you can say yes to yourself and delegating like a boss. So listen, you got the delegating like a boss award. I don't know who's coming for anytime soon, but sis, you got it. It's yours. And if somebody comes forward, they got to challenge you. That's all I got to say. You wrote, you wrote the book on that. Thank you, M. I love you for life. Again, if you're watching this, wherever you're watching it, drop a comment, drop replay if you happen to catch the replay. If you happen to be here live, say hey before we hop off. But if you are interested in freeing yourself, just like Emily, positioning yourself to free yourself, um, if you're interested in creating a life that you absolutely love and doing it unapologetically, and furthermore, if you're looking to or thinking about quitting your 9 to 5 to take the leap into full-time entrepreneurship, if any of the above applies, I want to invite you to go to quitwithoutregret.com, quitwithoutregret.com, and there's more information waiting for you there. All right, that's it for this case study testimonial video. I will see y'all on the next one. Take care.